talk about our SWOT analysis. So this is something that we have created. If you've ever been in a business class or gone through any type of books where they'll talk about growth and scaling, they'll talk about a SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis stands for your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We've been using this for 5+ years in the internship. And since we went to online with COVID, we've been, stressing it every month. And then NASM decided in 2021, when they released their 7th edition, that they were going to put that into their textbook. Always behind the curve. So, for a little guy like us to talk about a SWOT, it seems like we're copying them. So we can't be copycats. We got to be better. So then what you do is you reflect and you think about and you look at a SWOT and say, how can we make it better? And one thing that I always saw as a flaw with the SWOT analysis was there was nothing that was action-based. So you have strengths and weaknesses. They don't really tell you much about that. They just write it out and how the average mind works. And I would even say, in my experience, more so with trainers will highlight a lot of weaknesses. I've worked with trainers before on this, and they'll have 1 or 2 strengths and then 5 weaknesses. And that's not the purpose of the SWOT. It's just to get some stuff out there, put it on paper, and now look at what can we do to act. And so when you do your SWOT analysis, you're still going to do your strengths and weaknesses, and that's how you start out. So you go 3 strengths, 3 weaknesses. If you can't come up with 3 strengths, then have 1 or 2 strengths, but have 1 or 2 weaknesses. Never have more weaknesses than strengths. And then each month we will talk about one of the 7 portions of SWOT. Last month we talked about fear. And I discussed the story with General Grant. At the time, he was a soldier in the Mexican-American War, and he was traveling with his commanding officer. They had to go get some reinforcements and some supplies. I just love the story because the ride was like 75 miles, and he is just constantly hearing wolves the whole entire trip. And he's shitting his pants. And so he can't tell his commanding officer, like, hey, let's go, let's turn around. So he's hoping that he's going to tell him, hey, just let's go back. But he never did. And then one day the commanding officer said, Grant, how many wolves do you think are out there? And Grant said probably 20 minimum. The next day they came up on 2 wolves eating a carcass. And as they approached, the 2 wolves ran away. And that was one of his discoveries, essentially, that he used for the rest of that war, but also the Civil War, because his mind really fucked him up, thinking, oh my God, it's so bad out there. There's 20 wolves, we're going to die. But then when they keep on pushing forward, you see that there's only 2. And then when you approach, they leave. And that's a lot of times with our own fears. They get us complacent. We're going to talk about social media here in a second. I don't want to post in my story. I'm going to sound dumb and no one's going to like it. I shouldn't be doing it, whatever those negative voices are, or as psychologists will call them, automatic negative thoughts, ants. And so you don't act. And when you don't act, then there's going to be no positive outcome. And so when you actually start posting, and I'd say about a month ago, within the last month, there was a kid from our New York seminar. He took the information on that day, he posted in his story, he talked, and then the next day he had someone reach out. So in his mind, he was thinking, this is stupid. No one wants to hear me talk. I'm not going to post. He does it, then he gets a client from it. And that's what all of us need to look at, the positives. It's so easy to cowardly retreat and go back to the comfort zone, but there's no books that are out there based off of people who stuck in their comfort zone and had a cush life. And so you got to keep on attacking those wolves. And so that's what we talked about last month with our SWOT and fears. This month, we're going to get into the I's, which are action-based. So we have things that you can implement today, things that you can improve, and things that you can innovate. Now, the average trainer has 1 stream of revenue. And what do you think that stream of revenue is?
One-on-ones.
So let's say how much money, Darius, how much money you want to make a year?
At least 60,000.
All right. So when we do a little breakdown of 60K, so we take 60, divide it by 12, That's going to give us 5,000 per month. So per week, that's going to come out to $1,250. So your goal is to make $1,250 per week. Now, what does that come out to session wise? How much do you want to charge?
43 was the baseline, but I don't think that equates to other than that.
How much do you want to charge?
I'm gonna charge 43.
43?
Yeah, at the least.
Okay,
I want to charge 100 like you. I want to charge 100 like you.
Hold on, buddy. I don't charge 100. I'm a lot more than that, but let's go with 50 just to make it easy. So 1,250 divided by 50. So 25 sessions per week is what you need to do. That seems pretty feasible, right? 25 per week. Now, if you're working at Equinox, that's going to be the lowest tier is, I think, 22. So it's essentially 25 sessions. How do you get your clients? You got to go prospect. You got to talk to people. You got to schedule your EquaFits. You get your EquaFit 1, your EquaFit 2, and then you sign them up for a package of 12. We have Equinox and Lifetime and Crunch calls where we help people get more clients. And that's going to be before taxes. And so then you're going to get taxed. So maybe you're coming out to 1,000. So maybe we need to do a little more. One of the top trainers at Equinox, he's making 80 per session and he charges 150. So he's making, when I do the math, I don't know, I haven't talked to him, but I'm always nosy. And from what I've talked to, he has a house with his wife on Lake Travis. Lake Travis is one of the higher end spots in Texas and Austin. And she's number 2 in the company. He's number 10. So my guess is that together, so he's probably doing around 45 sessions per week, times that by 4, times that by 80. He's making probably about 14.5, maybe 16, 17 with his bonuses. Take home after taxes, probably maybe between 11 to 13,000, times that by 2. So together they're bringing in 25, 30 grand a month. They're doing well. They've put in their reps though, and that's what's called career capital. And it's interesting because when you look at trainers today, they come in and let's just pretend like it's Darius. It's not you, obviously, because you're a smart kid, but they come in, they get certified, they set unrealistic expectations. I want to make $60,000. All right, so where's your career capital? What have you done? Oh, I was an athlete, or I went through a crazy transformation. I deserve this. Okay, what have you done to really establish yourself with experience? Oh, I haven't trained anyone. All right, so what internships have you done? I haven't done any. What are you currently doing? What are you currently reading? Oh, I'm getting my next cert. Certs don't equate to more money unless you work at Crunch. That's the only spot that I know that I tell people become the biggest fucking NASM head in the world, because you can get paid a lot of money there, because each cert that you get like another $10. And NASM certs are the easiest to do, especially the ones after the CPT, because they're take home. Get the CES, get the PES, get the WLS, get the nutrition one, literally get them all. Because at Crunch, you could be making between 60 to 75 an hour. So if you're not working at Crunch, don't get any more certs. You don't need to. So now, if you're independent, right, Darius?
No, I still work at one. I do personals. I work at a gym full time. Okay,
so you work for them though?
Yeah.
And what do you get? What's your cut per hour?
So I get $25 per hour, but we do 30-minute sessions, but I get a base salary of $25,000 a year as well.
Okay. That's not bad. Something you get the average income for a new trainer with no experience is between 26 to 32. So with your potential with commission, you can definitely do more than that. And so when we break this down, 25 sessions per week, that's going to be 100 sessions per month. So this is what we look at.
So I do like 17 a day.
Yeah, I know, because of the half-hour ones, exactly.
Yeah.
So when we look at what typically happens during the holidays, your clients go away. The gym doesn't do a good job because, I love asking this. If you don't mind me asking, Darius, what's the name of your gym?
Orange Shoe Fitness.
And is it a franchise or is it an independent pop?
It's a franchise.
Okay. And do you know what their mission statement is?
They just wear orange shoes and use stability balls.
Okay, so I like that. So we'll come back to that in a second. So there's a disconnect between the gym and the trainer, where the gym a lot of times is going to have investors that they need to please, and the trainers are doing the work. The investors and the gym, they care about dollars. The trainers care about transforming and helping people and changing lives. So there's a disconnect there. So what happens is they don't encourage you to go on social media. A lot of times they forbid it. They don't want you to do anything online. They want you just to have that one stream of revenue. So it's not almost, it's very crippling. And so what happens during the holidays is, let's say, how many clients do you currently have?
So we all share clients, but I work from 5:30 till 8 p.m. most days. I don't even count. So like probably at least 12.
Okay, so let's just say 15. And of those 15, half of them are gone. So where you were going to get 25 sessions this week, half of them are gone. Now you're only at 10.
I tried to talk them into Trainerize, and they was like, no, you're not doing Trainerize here. No way. Like,
exactly. So you have your 10 sessions, and we had Thanksgiving. That's 1 week where you're going to be at 50%. You have the week of Christmas, the week after with New Year's. So now you're at 3 weeks where you're getting 10. So now your goal of making 60K has been docked for 3 weeks at 50%. So now you're closer to 55, 50. But what they don't also teach you is how to save. Every month you should be putting away 10% into a emergency fund. You should be putting 10% away into taxes. You should be putting 10% away for savings. And so then that your weekly and monthly, bi-monthly, whatever paycheck, it's going to be significantly less. But what we do is we spend what we get. So we get $1,200. We spend $1,200. You go buy some shoes, you buy a stupid Christmas hat like I have, and before you know it, all your money's gone. You aren't saving and prepping. And then what happens if you get sick? I just watching in the NFL, someone got exposed to COVID, so they're out for 10 days. It was QB someone. So obviously it's different for them, but what happens if you're out for 10 days? We're not factoring that into this. And so what happens is you have to make up for those sessions. Now you hit 25, now the next week you got to hit 50. And so then burnout starts happening because we're not prepping for these situations. And burnout is going to be where we don't exercise. All we're doing is grinding from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. We don't sleep. We don't read. And it's very easy to get a victim mentality because it's so hard. Why me? And that's that's the book of the month that we're talking about within the Traveler's Gift. If you haven't had a chance to hop on one of those calls, it was yesterday, but we'll also post it in the Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group, make sure to DM me on Facebook and I'll get you into it. Just Chris Hitchko. And something that I always see with new trainers is the lack of, it's really accountability for reading and continuing education. And so with the I, you have things that you can implement today. So let's take a look at, I'm going to go off on a quick little, I'll go here first. So we have, this is something that I use with Show Up. And a lot of this stuff for you guys, the way that I coach, lead, whatever you want to call it, I'm not a big hand holder. I'll send out an email, I'll send out a message and say, hey, here's what we're doing. Do it if you want. I'm not going to follow up with you and say, well, Sophie, why didn't you fill this out? Come on, you really need to do this. I really want to know your strengths and weaknesses. Come on. No, I grew up with brothers. I grew up with dad in the military. Here it is. If you want to do it, do it. If you don't give a shit. That's on you. It's not on me. I'm going to do it because I know the ramifications when you do act. I know that I've challenged many of trainers and a lot of Show Up Fitness. And here's Danny's challenge for the month, which we'll look at. And I was at 450 followers on YouTube. And I said, Danny, I want to start making money because I want to get a new truck in the new year. And when I get a new truck, I want YouTube to be able to pay for it. She said, all right, here's what you have to do. And she laid out this crazy plan for me. I had to post X amount. Here's the content. Started implementing. 18 months later, I now have my truck payment through YouTube. And we're at 11,000 followers, subscribers. And you can look at them like, oh my God, that's so cool. It's so easy to do. No, it was 18 months of action. So what I did is I looked at what is something that I can implement today. And I looked at her plan and I did a video. I posted it and then I went back to it and did another one and did another one. It's like the DJ Khalid song and another one and another one. And I kept on doing it. And so while I'm implementing that, what are things that I can improve? So what I would do is I would reflect on the videos and look at the views. Interesting. If you look at, I'll show you so you guys can see. Let's see. Can you guys see this?
Yeah.
So here's our dashboard. I look at this every week. So we're at 10-3 actually. I can look at the last videos, which ones were in the last, in 2 days, essentially, which ones got the most views.
That was in 2
NASM.
days? Yeah, 10,000 in 2 days?
No. This is the last 10, the last 2 days, how many views he's got. So 270 for this one, 116, how to screen clients, shoulder warm up, how to stay motivated. And then I can look at one of those videos and I can so for this. NASM gets all the hits. I'm sure most of you guys found us through NASM. So what I need to do is I need to double down on that, where is it? Here we go. So I can then look at how many views that this one got. So 474. And then what I'll do is I'll look at these ones on the side to compare. What else are people looking at? And I'll look at, likes and comments. Then I'll also go to my YouTube and I think it's under details. I'm still not the best with this one. There's something where it's like channel dashboard.
You have a separate YouTube?
What's up?
You have a separate? Oh, never mind. That's the one I follow you.
Yeah. Content. I don't know if it's content or if it's. Yeah, so I can go to uploads. I think I can go to
library.
So I have one that did. So most of you probably came across me on this one. So I did this video, I think now coming up on 3 years ago. So that's the one that got 76,000 views. I have a couple that have 45,000. A lot of comments, a lot of negativity, people saying you're a fucking moron, that you know what you're talking about. You got to, I can't believe you're bashing NASM or whatever. It's okay. That's good. You got to get, challenge people a little bit to think a little bigger. And then I'll see stuff like this. Like, I didn't think this would be a big video. This was one of our top 10 for a while, Planes of Motion. So I did this one in 2009. And if you watch these, you'll see that quick little, Darius, you said you're on Upwork right now. So I sent a video for this image, Show Up Fitness, sent it to someone on Upwork and said, I want an intro video for YouTube. Here's some examples. And they made this for me, 3 seconds. So now I put it on every single one. If you look at, this is very simple. I don't talk about my belt buckle here. I just put this up here. Very, very simple. Go through that. And so then I'll reflect and say, okay, so that one got X amount of views. What's something that I can implement and try? So I started being a little more energetic. I started being a little more crazy. It's almost like a multi-personality. And people would start commenting more. So then I started implementing more of those. All of the videos aren't like that. I'm doing programming ones. I'll do ones on ACSM, and I look at the bulk, which is 80% of it, and 80% of them are pretty much NASM based. But I'll also do ones on programming, so I'm not just doing one. And so, what are things that I can innovate so that you got things that you can implement? So start making the videos, things that you can improve. Go back in the videos, see what you like, and there was a point where I was making too many NASM videos. And then people would comment, and I was getting a lot of comments saying that, cool story, bro. I just want to pass this. I don't give a shit about, your internship. And I said, so I got to reflect. And I'll talk to people on our board, and I'll talk to our trainers and say, all right, we got to come up with almost like an angel. So hence I'm the devil, Megan's the angel. And then we started having Megan start putting videos out there. And then people would comment on mine and be like, oh, you're so negative. And I'd say, good, deal with it. Go watch Megan then if you can't deal with me. We're a bunch of snowflakes today. That's okay. If I'm too much for you, I don't give a shit. Go watch her. And so now she's grown her YouTube to almost 1,000 followers. And she now has streams of revenue that are coming in. And it was really cool last month. One thing I put on myself is I want trainers to have a stream of revenue where the second, third, fourth stream of revenue is generating enough so it can pay for your rent. And last month, Megan I think she made $2,200 on a second or third stream of revenue because of the NASM classes that she teaches. She also trains and she also has online, but she is an action-based individual and she puts out content. And if you ask her, Megan, are you great at YouTube? She'll say no. She hates it when I'm around because I'm very action-based. I'm not a planner. And, I see Ivan on here. Ivan will give me shit sometimes because I'll come into the gym in West Hollywood and it'll be 5:50 in the morning. And I'll say, oh shit, I know you're here, Ivan. What time's your client? It's like 6. I'm like, all right, I got 7 minutes to do a YouTube. I'll put it up, boom, and I'll crank it out. And he's like, did you just finish that? I'm like, yeah, 7 minutes, all I need. He's like, holy shit, that would take me, 7 hours. I said, exactly. That's what would happen for a lot of new people. And it would for me in the beginning as well. I worked up to that. I don't strive for perfection on our videos. I just want the content out there. If I can create a content, I don't care about the editing. You'll see some of my videos, I'll cuss, I'll say restart. It's like, I don't give a shit. I just want to get it out there. We'll get to a point where we'll have people edit through our videos, and that's going to be an exciting time. So those are the eyes that you look at, the action-based things. So when you reflect on your SWOT analysis, this is our core value mission statement. And I encourage you guys to have your own, obviously your own. So we are going to redefine the fitness industry by replacing certifications with internships and making training into a career, because the average person right now does not make training into a career. 90% of certified trainers quit within the first year. That statistic is disgusting to me. I believe that it is absolutely a passion that we can turn into a career. In the last, every month I'll do these. In the last 6 months, as I've talked to investors and people who are interested in helping us grow more, we've now gone from a gym-based company to a fitness educational technology, which is really exciting because we call it ed tech. So now the scalability is exponential. With gyms, there's a cap, and gyms and restaurants, they're hard to invest in because they're not that sexy, because so many of them fail. Now, why do they fail? I think it's because their trainers aren't educated, or they are, and they're too cocky and they don't have the business sense. So that's a whole nother conversation. But here are the 6 things that we focus on at Show Up. Show up. There's our acronym. You got to show up with a smile, lead with service and science. Sales and streams of revenue will follow. So many trainers don't smile today. They focus just on the sales. If they don't sign them up, they sweep them to the side and they focus on the next sale. When you're transactional, you're not going to make it in this industry. So the H part is, essentially, it's, are you in the best shape of your life? Are you a hunk? Are you a hunkette? And those are just little dorky little terms that we have that I've used, just like the belt buckle, but little things that can separate us. And if you're not, then it's a challenge. We just had our Show Up games, and Megan did absolutely awesome. She crushed everyone, and it shows with her physique, but she's also super, super smart. So one thing I talk about in my book is the acronym HELP NIC. Trainers shouldn't just be all physique or just brains. You should have a bunch of these characteristics, and she's absolutely that. And then when you look at things that come with looking and talking and speaking the part, you're going to develop the first one, which is your streams of revenue, and your sales comes naturally. She's the first trainer that I've ever met within 3 years of training. She has 3 clients that are paying over $200. She has one $200 client, she has a $225 client, and she has a $250 client. And people will say it's because of La Jolla. No, all of our gyms are in affluent areas. West Hollywood is right next to Equinox. That can absolutely crush it. Santa Monica, absolutely crush it. It comes from your confidence. And your confidence comes from, are you in the best shape of your life? And if you are, you're going to exude that, because your client's going to come in and go, holy shit, I want your abs. Oh my God, I want your arms. I want your ass, whatever it is. And then like, oh, I got you. If you want this, I show the value, I can charge whatever I want to, because the value is there. And so focus on how can you improve. Now, don't get lost in this and make it superficial. And Show Up Fitness, so superficial. I always talk about, it's a superficial fucking industry. A lot of your clients want to work with you because of the way that you look. You should be a walking advertisement. And if you're not, it doesn't mean you're a terrible person. It means, what are you implementing today to get there? So, oh, today's my day off. Why are you taking a day off? Well, because I worked out 3 days in a row. Are you sore? Are you tired? No? Then go do a double day today. Bodies are awesome. I'm going to get my 10,000 steps. You're a trainer. You shouldn't be fucking focusing on steps. How many miles did you run today? What's your PR in a mile? Oh, I don't like to run a mile. You haven't ran a mile? Why not be the best of the best in all these categories? A push, a pull, a hinge, a unilateral, a strength, cardio, flexibility, and really be the top of that. Others first. So that's what we focus on. If you're complaining about me, I don't have enough clients, stop, look around. How can you help the person next to you? Maybe you have some clients in the past that can't train with you because of how much you charge. Reach out to them and see if you can get someone else a client. When you stop thinking about you and you focus on other people, that's how you're going to succeed. A winner's mindset's always going to, is what we want. And when it comes to, I said mobility. I definitely said mobility, Phil. I said, you got to get your mobility stuff in there. You do 90-90 stretches, all the FRC stuff. That's great. You look at I'm reading a book right now on the Patriots dynasty. It's amazing. I love Belichick, his mindset, and like losing isn't an option. And if you do lose, you go back to the drawing board to win. The day after the Super Bowl, he'll go into his office, he cleans everything out, and he gets ready for the next year. That's just a different mindset today. People will go on a diet, they'll do a bunch of cardio, they'll get to the event, they'll feel good about themselves, and then they'll take the next 3 months off, and they'll get right back to where they're at. And then we repeat the same thing. And so a winner's mindset is one that is that I want for all instructors, for all trainers, to think bigger. Who can tell me what my favorite word is, what that means? Ubiquity.
I want to say it's uni, so everybody will be in unison to some degree. So
yeah, I like that. I like you're breaking that down. How did you come across Shelf Fitness, Darius?
I was trying to go through NASM and I looked you up. I said how to pass
exactly.
NASM.
So that is ubiquity. People think about becoming a trainer and they go to NASM. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to and they say, oh my God, I've done so much research. NASM's the best cert. And I said, no, you haven't done your research. You typed in how to become a trainer. You clicked on the first link. You came to NASM because they pay a lot of money. They're a profit organization. You got in front of them. Tell me about the OPT model and Dr. Clark. Do you know who Dr. Clark is? Do you know who BlackRock investment firm is? Because they're the ones who own Ascend Learning. Ascend Learning is the one who owns NASM. NASM is a profit organization, and they're not the best. If you talk to any professor and actual academics, they laugh at NASM. Dr. Schoenfeld, one of the leading scientists in the world, I've had talks with him, and he literally laughs. He's like, Chris, I don't get it. I've consulted with them to try to make them better, and they still put this shit out there. 60-second rest periods for hypertrophy. Nope, that's outdated. Stabilization, that's been outdated since 2005. Yep, they've been able to get in front of people and essentially brainwash them that they are the best. They're not the best. They are the best marketing company, absolutely, hands down. But I love their business model and the ubiquity that comes with NASM. I want to get to a point where people say, you want to become a trainer, but you got to go to Show Up Fitness. And that's in Italy. And that's in South America, where people think of, like when you see a little swoosh on a shirt, you automatically think Nike. When you see now the U thing on spandex, Lululemon, that's ubiquity, where you look at a brand and you say that's associated with what it is. Professionalism, personal accountability, and personal records. So personal records will go off of the Hunk Hunkette, where I love fitness, but I also you need to challenge it, because within fitness, it can be very lonely. In a corporate gym, or if you're training somewhere else, it's hard to, and that's not hard, sorry. Trainers are intimidated to link up with other trainers because they think that they're trying to take their clients. I want to have the most amount of clients. If someone were to come into me, and I know Darius is one of the best prenatal trainers out there, and the client comes in and she goes, yeah, I really want to focus on my, my pre and post pregnancy. Do you know a great trainer? Say, absolutely, it's me. I'm the best trainer in the world when it comes to prenatal. I don't give a shit about Darius. I'm not going to refer her to him because it's a dog eat dog world. Whereas I want to create and foster a community where you come to me and you tell me that, I'm going to say, work with Darius because he's the best at it. I know there's going to be opportunities for other clients that are going to come in and I can help them, but he's our best when it comes to that. And so professionalism, little things, showing up on time. I can't tell you how many trainers are late, how many trainers, I've worked with trainers that smell of cigarettes. I mean, if you smoke, that's on you, but you can't have the smell of cigarettes as a trainer on you. You can't show up late. You can't be on your phone during the session. I have so many photos of trainers who are charging $100 per hour on their phone. Where's your personal accountability? If you're not in the best shape of your life, that's on you, no one else. It's not your genetics. It's not that the weather, it's that you have no one holding you accountable and you're afraid to look in the mirror. You're afraid of posting your social media. I'm going to get in the best shape of my life. This month, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 100 push-ups per day. I'm going to work on running a 6-minute mile. I'm going to work on this. You're going to put it out there because it's scary. In the beginning of 2021, I put out there on social media, we want to open up 4 gyms. We didn't open up 4 gyms. I'm a failure. I'm a pile of shit. No, I reflect on that. And I go through and say, why didn't we? So we had a fork and we pivoted, and it's not an excuse. It's okay. If we were to open up 4 gyms, it wouldn't have been the most advantageous at the time. But at the same time, next year, I'm going to make more aggressive goals and say, okay, now we got to have a physical gym here, and we got to continue to open. But our focus a lot right now is online because we can grow faster. We can definitely open up 5 gyms in the next 6 months, but the max at each one of those spots is capped. Whereas online, we have 283 online followers right now on the Patreon. We could easily be at 1,000. We should be at 5,000. So the scalability on that is a lot greater. So personal accountability is something that you guys and girls can do by calling each other out. And that's what we're doing right now with the little challenge from Danny. And we're going to put this all on everyone. And Danny posted this yesterday, 31 days of content. We were talking about this, and this is why I love Danny, is because she's action-based. We had a call on Tuesday night, which was the 30th. I said, all right, so we're going through our SWIFT. Here's what we're doing well. Here's how we can improve. Here's some things that we can implement now. Let's come up with a 31-day challenge for December. We put it out there. You can remember, and you'll notice yesterday's call, my thing was telling people to eat less and move more is terrible advice. So if Danny were to have 31 days of content, post 31 days in a row, that's a terrible challenge. You need to have something that people can follow. So she came up with this. This was Tuesday night. She did this. We talked about it. Within 12 hours, she already had this done. That's an action-based person. That's someone who's going to be successful. That's someone you want to be around, where you can tell someone, hey, we need this done within 12 hours, get it done. And then it comes out and looks like this. So day 1 was yesterday. Doesn't mean you guys can't and girls can't do it. 10 facts about you. I give Josh a ton of credit. I saw him already do his, do a little reel post. And so now you don't have to follow this exactly. This is just a template. So if you'll notice when we've gone over our assessments at Show Up Fitness, the assessment is a template. Sometimes I'll have people that will come in who are in great shape that have been to the doctor recently. I'll screen them real quick. They don't care about measurements, body fat, grip strength. They want to focus on lifting more or coming in for a good push workout. I'll have them sign a waiver, and very quickly we will get into the workout. The template is, well, most people I'm going to screen, I'm going to sit down, assess, learn about their goals, see how they do basic things, but there will be times when I need to adjust. So here's your template for the month. But if you wanted to do, if you wanted to do a creative, flashy exercise today, you could. If you wanted to do your holiday theme workout today, you could. Maybe you want to do a group workout today. What's a flashy exercise? You notice with a lot of them, they'll double themselves. So if you wanted to do, you're stuck inside today, maybe you're not feeling 100%, maybe your mind's kind of in the gutter, just do a simple home workout. You put your phone up on the corner and you do a quick little post of you doing some push-ups, and then you do a plank. Here's a fun one you guys can do. I challenge you to not allow your knees to touch the ground for 5 minutes in a push-up position. So you get in a push-up position, hold down. Now, once you start getting tired, rotate, go to one arm. And once you start getting tired, rotate, go to the other arm. Then get up and do some push-ups. Go into a downward dog, and then go to a side arm plank. And then, get creative. Maybe you put one arm behind your back. Maybe you walk around, maybe you move around 5 minutes on the clock. See if you can do, now it's called your 5-minute challenge. Maybe you rotate into a crab position. And then you challenge people and say, tag me, post in your story. The person who posts and tags me, you win X amount. We do that. We have weekly awards that we give out at Show Up with $50 to $100 that we give people for posting in your stories. You got to do it though. Bust a fitness myth. Because bust a rhyme. Maybe you want to rap and do it. Maybe you want to have a Christmas song in the background and you're rapping, "Are bananas good? Can you eat past 7 o'clock? Sugar's bad. Alcohol's bad." Maybe you talk about alcohol's bad. You take a shot and you make a little joke about it. Alcohol's not good. But what people think is that while you're dieting, you can't consume alcohol, which is false. Alcohol carries a caloric punch, 7 calories per gram. It's nutrient depleted. There's no value of alcohol. There's no benefit of it, but it is a macronutrient because there are calories. Why is alcohol bad? Because typically it's like a country song. 1 turns into 3 and 3 turns into a tequila dance. And then what happens when you're intoxicated is you don't sleep very well. When you don't sleep very well, your cortisol levels will be elevated. Your hydration is going to be depleted. You're going to wake up with low testosterone levels, high cortisol. You're not going to be in a good state, so you're not going to move the next day. That's why alcohol is bad. So my challenge for you during the Christmas holiday is holidays, whatever, if you go to a party, drink, enjoy yourself, but the next day, work out, hold yourself accountable. And one thing you can do to hold yourself accountable is hire a coach like myself. I will call your ass tomorrow at 5 o'clock, and I will keep on calling you until you pick up. I'm going to say, how are you feeling? Probably feel like shit, huh? Well, get over it. Get down, do some push-ups. Go on FaceTime. I'll do push-ups with you. Do a plank, do a 5-minute challenge, walk around, move, drink some water. An hour later, you will feel better. You will feel like shit the whole day, but you are now on path to get back to where you want to be. What about solve one problem with your ideal client? Maybe you take a little post. I get these all the time. I just had one this morning. I just signed up for NASM. I finished their test. I'm certified. I'm lost. I don't know what to do. So you can put that in your story. For me as a teacher, for you, you can have something around my clients are struggling with, they're eating 1,200 calories, not losing weight. Nope, that's false. Because if you're eating 1,200 calories, you would lose weight. So here's what you're doing is when you have a cup of coffee, you put 3 raw sugars in there. You guys know how many calories in 1 pack of raw sugar?
More than 0.
One of these?
I mean,
packet of sugar. Anyone know? I'm gonna put it in here just so you guys can see that sugar's not bad. Yeah, love me some raw sugar. Curl up, 20 calories right there. Do you think people are gonna put just 1 packet in there? No, they're gonna put 3 or 4, and they're gonna put some milk. So your coffee that you looked online in your app says that it's 5 calories. The sugar, that's pretty much nothing. Actually, it's 150 calories. And maybe you wanted to have 2 cups of coffee, that's 300 calories. So you had 1,200 plus the 300. Oh yeah, what about the little turtle cookies that your friend brought in? And you had 2 of them. You didn't count those, did you? Another 150 calories. Now we're at 1,650. Oh, forgot that you had a soda that you didn't put in there. So now we're at 1,850. The average girl in the United States consumes 1,800 calories. The average guy consumes 2,400. That is why we are overweight, is because we eat too much. So let's figure out how we can modify that. Here are my holiday tips. Before you go to a Christmas party, have an apple, have a 24 chug of water, have food before so you're not starving. If you're going to go to a dinner out, look on the menu before what you're going to order. I'm going to have a salad with salmon. Have it picked out beforehand. So these are all challenges for you to do on a daily basis to help you with your social media and your growth. We're at a really important point right now in 2021 with December 2nd being here, is that this is a time when you can start acting aggressively. And by January 1st, you already have a book of business moving forward. If you are Darius, you can focus on trying to get people online. And you may have to be in the gray area a little bit, but that's all right. You post on your line, you get someone who's interested, you design a program for them.
I just have an issue charging them. I have like 18 people, and it's just the issue of charging them.
What's the issue?
I don't know. I'm always trying to give more than I ask for.
That's good. You should always give more than, especially in the beginning, but you need to be charging something, even if it's $25. And so if I have someone who's interested in, so this is a little role play right now. Someone reaches out and says, I want to work with you. I can't afford your sessions, or maybe they're at a different gym or a different state. All right. So here's what I do. I design a month program. I send out the program per week. You need to film the workouts. I'm going to put little asterisks on there. Those are PRs. When you hit those PRs, you send them to me. I'm going to post it in my story. This program and the accountability check-ins is $250 per month. How do you want to pay for it? And they go, oh, it's too expensive. Okay, what were you thinking about? I was thinking at $99. They're always going to lowball you. This is negotiations. So, okay, $99. Here's what I can do for $125. I can design the 4 weeks of workouts, and then I will check in on you once a week. How does that sound? So they say, well, 99 is my top. Okay, I will design 4 workouts for you, and I will still do the weekly check-ins, which is normally $125, but I'm going to give you this discount. But here's what you need to do. Every day when you work out, You need to tag me. And if you do that for the whole entire month, at the end of the month, I will credit this amount for the next month. If you don't, it's going to go up to my normal rate of $250. On top of it, if someone reaches out to me from your post and I sign them up as a client, I will give you 50% of what they sign up for. So my programming is $250. If someone reaches out to me and they get that program, I will give you $125 cash. Now, if you want, you can just say, put it towards the next month, which is fine. Or I will Venmo you $125. Don't give people fucking 10%. That pisses me off how frugal trainers are. I'm going to sign someone up for $1,000. I'm going to give you $50. Here's a $25 gift card. It's like, why would I want to do that? It's not enticing for me. Give them legit referral compensation. And so that's how I would help grow your online book of business. So when you do this, what are your main priorities? If it's going to be money, put money on there. If it's clients, put that on there. Maybe it's moving out. Maybe it's leaving your job. Maybe it's creating an online business, starting a product. What are your distractions? What's holding you back? If you don't take a lot of time and thought to do this, it's not going to help you. I have no distractions. Yes, you do, because if you didn't have distractions, you would have had this done. What are your distractions? Or social media. Okay, how long are you on social media per day? I'll get bored and I'll go in there for 30 minutes. All right, so next time you get bored, you put your phone on airplane mode and then you focus on this goal. Put a little note in your pocket and write on there, this is my number one goal. Put it in your pocket. Every time you put your hand in your pocket, you feel it. Oh shit, I got to do that. Helps you remind you that you have those 3 priorities and you're always feeling it. Do your strengths and weaknesses and reflect on that. Don't get hung up on the weaknesses where it brings you down to a low point. What are your weaknesses? I'm not very structured. My mind works best by going to 1,000 miles per minute and having ideas over here, over there. So I would be ignorant if I allowed that to continue without improving it. So we've hired people to help structure it better. Now we're having our own platform come out within the next month, which is going to be significantly better than Patreon. So you reflect, you see what the problem is, but now it's time to implement new strategies. So for your strengths, double down on your strengths. If you're an action-based person, if you're on Instagram a lot, well, then why not follow and comment more people? Why not post more? If you're posting 1 time a day, why not do 3 times a day? Danny has said in her talks, you can do 1 to 3 times per day. That's going to overwhelm people. Who gives a shit? If you lose followers, but you gain 3 online clients, it's worth it. The followers are really irrelevant. I don't care if you have 100 followers and you're able to get 5 clients from it, but the person who has 22,000 followers posts once every 5 days and they don't get any clients from it. It's just a number. That's stupid. Double down on your strengths. What's your goal for the week? Whether it's online clients, then you got to look at how can I implement a strategy to help me get to where I want to be. I want 1 online client by the end of the month. So that means I need to reach out to 10 people per day. So that's 70 per week. What's my accountability? Reach out to someone else. Send it to me. Send it to another friend. I'm going to reach out to 70 people. What happens if you don't do it? I'll do better next week. No, that's why we don't succeed in these things. Put $25 on the table. If I don't get this done, then you get to keep the $25. There needs to be something that, oh shit, if I don't do this, whereas Danny yesterday, she got on Tuesday, she'd be like, I'll do it on Friday. And if I'm like, okay, whatever, just do whatever. No accountability. And so that's where we get caught up in the minutia and the victim mentality is we put either way too aggressive goals without action items, or we put too passive goals. I want to get 1 client by the end of the month. Okay, how many clients are right now? 14. Could you handle 5 clients? Yeah, I could. Well, why not set the bar for 5 clients and be more aggressive on getting more referrals and getting better at referrals? Oh, it's so hard to get referrals. Okay, I'm your client. Get a referral from me. Hey, Chris, do you know anyone that wants to train with me? That's a fucking terrible way to ask for a referral. They're going to say no 100% of the time. Darius is my client. I've been training him for a month. Hey, but how's your time look like after our session today? I got 30 minutes. Let's go grab some coffee. We go grab some coffee. I pay for it. I get him a scone, a donut, whatever he wants. I get one too. We sit down, we talk. And so right now I'm looking for 3 people to fill in these slots on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Have you enjoyed the workouts? Oh man, they're great. I love it, everything. Do you know 3 people who you work with or within your family or within your close circle that could benefit from training with me?
Yes.
Let me think about it. Well, that's what I'm here right now for. Let's go through your phone and let's go through A to Z and start looking at those contacts. Oh, I don't want to push onto my clients. What do you mean? You're not being aggressive. You have a gift to help people. So you are actually failing our society by sitting back and being in your head, thinking, oh, they don't want that. You don't know what they want. How dare you assume that someone else thinks that? Because you have a special gift, you need to ask, and you need to ask almost aggressively. Let's go through your phone. If you find someone, send a group text message. Hey, Brian, how's it going? How's your new year looking? I have a great trainer I want to link you up with. He's in the text with this. Let's schedule a time when you come in next week for a complimentary workout. I'll be there with you. And you let him know that anytime he brings a friend in, you get a workout with him for free. So if you have a client that's training twice per week right now, and you sit down with them and you set these clear expectations. One is that anyone that you bring in here, you're going to get a free workout that day. But two, if they sign up, I'm going to give you X commission. You could have someone, that's what they're called, mavens, I talk about in my book, who could refer you 5 or 6 clients, all because of your persistency. It's not being overly aggressive. It is if you just signed them up. I just met Sophie today and I sit her down and say, hey, I really need some referrals. That's too aggressive. I don't know her. So you need it to be appropriate within your programming and how you've been helping them. Put some BHAGs out there, big, hunky, audacious goals. So a year from now, where do you want to be? If you don't have a stream of revenue, put a number out there. I want to be making $1,500 a month in my third stream of revenue by December 2nd, 2022. Write that down, see it every day, post it in your story, let people know that. If you have people comment, it's stupid, that means it's a good goal. I want to have my own gym in 3 years. Okay, I like that. What does it look like? Draw it on a piece of paper. What's the name of it? Go to a little arts and crafts place, get all these little stupid little stuff and pretend like we're in 4th grade and draw it. It's going to be terrible. Who cares? Here's your gym. Here's your bench. You put some, make it Christmassy. Here's what it's going to be called. Have it and visualize it, see it. And that's what I talk about with the table. And that's the last T. The fears are things that are going to hold you back. But the table is talking to people who can help motivate you, and they can be real, they can be fake. So at my table, I have General Grant. When I'm being a victim or I'm being a poor me or I'm not growing as fast as I want to, I sit down and have a hypothetical conversation, kind of like in the book, Traveler's Gift. What would Grant do in this situation? Would he give up? No, he would say that I'm scared. That's okay. But when you allow that fear to paralyze your action, that's when victimhood takes over. Recognize your fear, see your where you're scared, and appreciate it. You know, I am scared that I put this aggressive goal out there. What if it fails? If it fails, you reflect, you make it better. All right, well, what would Phil Knight do in this situation? He's one of my favorite people of all time. And he started a company from nothing to grew an empire. So he's had numerous times where he's had lawsuits. He almost went bankrupt. How would he handle this situation? What would he do? So you talk to people who motivate you. Don't put your buddies at the table who are a bunch of stoners and drunks who don't do shit. Maybe you have a friend who's a really good business person. You could put them at your table and then actually go meet with them once a week. Here's my goal. Here's what I want to do. Maybe they can challenge you to create a mission statement or a business plan. They can help you. I consult with people, and I had a call the other day with someone and we were talking about a partnership. I said, well, here are the 10 things that you need to write out. When you meet with them, ask them where they see themselves in 5 years. Ask them, what is their FICO score? If they don't know what the FICO score is, why the fuck would you want to go in business with them? They could have a terrible FICO score. They go bankrupt, and now you have to pick up their slack, and you're on a contract together. Who's going to pay for the electricity, the water? Who's going to put it in their name? Ask for 3 references that you can reach out to. Call them and drill them. I'm about to partner up with Darius. Tell me about it. You know, would this be someone who you really want to go into business with? Or, you know, push comes to shove, what happens if we have no money? Is he the type of person that's going to go out there and get it done? Or is he going to be the person that rolls over and cries, poor me? I want to know this person's deep secrets. Mm-hmm. So when you make your BHAGs, you should be ashamed almost. You should be afraid to tell your friends because they're going to laugh at you and say you're stupid. You want to own 5? It's not going to happen. You want people to be uncomfortable from your goals because most people are complacent because they don't set big goals. But they say, oh, I want to just sit in these golden handcuffs for the rest of my life, work at a job that I hate. And then when I'm fat and old and can't move, I'm going to be in retirement and waste my life away. Oh, that sounds so fun. Now I'm going to set some aggressive goals and I'm going to see them every day. And I'm going to write them out like Bart Simpson used to do. I will not do this, but I'm going to write it out saying, I am going to do this. I am going to do this. I am going to do this. And I'm going to keep on saying it because that's how you're going to get through these times. Innovation. What are some things that I could put on the plate that are not on the plate right now?
Anything that's harder.
So 10 years ago, Show Up Fitness was trainers in training. It was people who would come in to work with students. We charged $25 per session. It grew into the students who we liked. They started training for us. So we started having them charge more. So they would charge between 75, in Dublin, it was 55 to 75 per hour. So we had our stream of revenue from the training and then our trainers in training. And then we opened up our first physical location in Santa Monica. And then we started doing stuff online. Then I put my book out there. And now we have YouTube. And now I'll give talks to companies for X amount. So you want to have 10 streams of revenue, where if your main stream gets screwed up, you can pivot into the other one. And so we have seminars now that we didn't have in 2021. So we brought in not a significant amount. It was like maybe 20, 25,000 in seminars. That was a stream of revenue that we didn't have in 2020. Right now, I sat down and said, okay, what's something we can implement for 2021 that we haven't done that can help us grow faster? Or if we only have locations in San Diego and Los Angeles, we got to get out there and we got to get in front of more people. Let's do a seminar. Let's first do one in LA. First we did one in San Diego. There's 3 people. I could look at them, oh my God, it's such a terrible turnout. That's 3 people that didn't come to the internship that are now in front of me. Now we did one in LA and we did one in Vegas and it failed. No one showed up. So we canceled it. That was horrible. I can reflect and like, oh, poor me. No, you reflect and you say, okay, why did it fail? Was it too aggressive? Was it because there weren't people there? We had a spot. You reflect. Sometimes you lose. That's okay. You don't let that affect you. You keep on moving on. So then we did Miami. We did Austin. We did New York. New York was our biggest one. It was awesome. There was like 18 people there. So now we start reflecting for 2022. All right, now we can do one a month. All right, so now we can get another location here. Let's do one internationally. Okay, what are some other things that we can innovate? More swag. You know, you can get your Show Up Fitness Christmas sweater. You can have stuff that you start putting out there, bands, whatever. That's a stream of revenue you didn't have before. What about online programming? That's a stream that we didn't have. Now, when you reflect and you learn from companies that have thrived during COVID, online in the Zoom stuff is not going away. It's going to be a new stream of revenue that gyms didn't have before. So I reflect and look at companies like where Darius is training, and I see their flaws, that they don't have nutritional consultations. They don't pay the trainers to work out. Why not have your trainers? This is something we'll talk about at our year-end party for Show Up. I think it would be great if you were making $500 a month by working out with your clients. Show Up won't take anything from that. Every single one of your clients, you say on Saturday, come in for a workout, it's $10. They Venmo you $10. They bring you some coffee. They bring you an egg McMuffin. You do that on Saturday and Sunday, you have 5 clients. That's an extra $100 per week. 5, that's $400 per month. Just from you working out. Well, I don't want to work on Saturday and Sunday. What the fuck do you mean you don't want to work on Saturday and Sunday? We all work out more than the average person. So why not have your clients work out with you? $10 is cheap. Why not do 25? If you have a client that's paying you $100 per hour, 150, tell them, come work out with me, and I will work out with you as well. I'm not going to train you. We'll do it together. I had someone pay me $2,200 a month to work out with me in 2021. I would tell him when I'm working out, where I'm going, and he would show up at Equinox. I did what I wanted to do. And he got in amazing shape from it. The programming was altered a little bit to make him excited because he liked some of the cardio stuff. So I implemented that in there. But how cool is that I made $2,200 a month for almost 4 months just from working out? Why not have that every single month where you have your YouTube $1,000, your book sales $1,000, your online training $1,000, and then you work out, you get an extra $1,000. That's $5,000 you're making in streams of revenue on top of your one-on-one training. So Darius, it would be very reasonable for a BHAG for you to be making $60,000 in your second, third, and fourth stream of revenue. Absolutely 100% super feasible. Where your number one stream of revenue is your one-on-one training, you're bringing in 75 grand. So that's bigger thinking. Whereas Equinox and Lifetime, they're going to say you can make $100,000, but you need to be training 200 times per month. And it sucks. You're there at 5 a.m., you leave at 10 p.m., and you do it 7 days a week. So we encourage people to think bigger, work harder, got to work harder, but work smarter. So talk about your fears. What are some threats? Who's at your table? You can also look at trends. What are some trends right now? What are people producing? And this is where you invest back into yourself. You take 10% and you go work, you get trained by someone. I was talking to our instructor in Austin, because we're starting up our new hip anatomy on Monday, so the 6th, and we doing our monthly meeting. And I said, what's going on? What's going through your mind right now? How can I help you? And he's like, I think I love the spot where we're at, but I think it'd be great to start looking at getting our own physical location. So awesome, let's do it. When I'm there next week or in 2 weeks. So we're going to go to 2 or 3 boutique gyms, and we're going to get trained by those trainers. They're not going to know who we are. I'm going to pay premium $150, $200 per hour to see what that session's like. I'm going to learn from it, but that's an investment for our market research. So then we look at where are we going to put the physical location. I want to know how much people around us are charging. I'm not scared or intimidated by any of because we don't have competition, in my opinion, because the average trainer sucks. They get a certification and they get more. They don't do this stuff. They don't reflect. They don't read. They don't ask great questions. They're complacent, and they wish and they hope that something's going to fall in their lap. And it doesn't. What's your book of the month? Traveler's Gift. That's what we're reading. Fitness goal of the month. I want to bench 200 pounds. I want to bench 300 pounds. I want to lose 5% body fat. What's a promise to yourself? So here's the show up brand promise, but you promise to yourself. I will work out 31 days in a row. I will post 31 days in a row. I will be consistent with my YouTubes, my Snapchats, whatever it is. You make that promise. Don't break that promise. If I were to tell Darius tomorrow we're going to work out at 6 a.m. and I just don't show up, how does that reflect on me as a person? He's going to think now I'm can't rely on me. So when you make this promise, that's how you should feel. What happens if you don't come through on that promise? You should feel like shit. And you should talk in your story and say, I made a promise, I didn't do it. That's accountability. But we don't do that. We're going to sit back, and here's an opportunity for you guys and girls in person right now, but also online. You're going to see this and you're going to say, I'm just overwhelmed. I'll do it next month. And you won't. And then it's going to be the same pattern. And you're going to be in that circle. And then a year from now, you're going to be like, I really should have done that a year ago. And that's victimhood. And that's what we do. Where you're at a fork right now, and you can choose the victimhood path, which everyone does. And it's poor me, it's too hard, I don't have money, whatever excuse it is. Or you go to the right and you go, I'm going to double down on me. And I'm going to do more than the average person would. I'm going to wake up at 3 a.m. Fuck, I'm going to compromise my sleep for the next 2 months. And I'm really going to get after it. You hear some of the best people in the game, like Gunnar Peterson. He's the only trainer ever to have a character on The Simpsons. He still only sleeps 5 hours a day. He'll sleep 5 hours and he'll take a nap in his car. He's up at 4 a.m. He gets to the gym. That's personal accountability. But you look at where he's at. He made a decision, and look at where he is because of that decision. All right. So there's my little rant today. There's our SWOT analysis. It was posted in the Patreon last night. You can go through this. I encourage you to really reflect. You can delete stuff in here. You can take away whatever, take this out, really think on it. I will get probably maybe 5 or 6 of these, and 2 of them will be good. Other 3 will be very vague, and that's fine. I'll give you some recommendations on the back end. A lot of people will not do it because they're afraid. They don't want to reflect. They don't want to take the time because they're afraid of that big boogeyman. That's, what if I can't do it? I would much rather try than sit in my corner and reflect later on in life, like, oh, I have a regret because I didn't even try. We got a comment here. Okay, good.
I gotta go out of here. It's in my laptop. Somebody got a meeting, but I appreciate you, Chris.
All right, buddy. Have a great day. We'll see you.
You're
Anyone else have any questions? Anything you want to address? I'm going to film this real quick. Post in the story. Feel free to ask any questions. Here's the SWOT analysis. I went over this in class. If you want the recording, just shoot me a DM. I'll send it to you. What are things that you can innovate, improve, fears, threats, tables, streams of revenue? Nope. All righty. Tomorrow, what is today? Thursday? Yeah. So we have Professor Gaines at 2:30. Will go through the assessment. We have Chelsea tonight at 5 o'clock. She's going to be doing the trainerize. Tomorrow we have Danny, and she'll really talk a lot about this challenge. Challenge all of you to get up and act and implement some strategies to start making your lives easier. And ultimately, your life will become easier the more you act. So have a great rest of the day. We'll see you.